Okay, so yes, in the last class we were discussing about strings, where we have learned about the various methods by which the values of the strings or the keys, the characters, the individual characters of the strings gets indexed. Okay, so yes, we have seen that in indexing we have positive indexes and we have negative indexes. In the last class also we have seen that how to reverse a particular string. For example, if we have this particular string like a is equal to apple. So what if we need to reverse it? So in order to reverse it, there is a simple mechanism. We'll be simply using a and within square bracket, we'll give the start and the stop index to be as blank, and yes, and the step index to be as -1. So the moment we execute this, we get our reverse string. Okay. So yes, but yes, as I said that in the last class, we'll be discussing about the palindrome mechanism, like how to check whether both the values of both the strings that we have reversed are same or not. That is the original string that we have in the variable a, that is apple, and the string that we have reversed. If both these values are same, in that case we'll be calling it to be as palindrome. Okay, for example, mom, then lol, lol, okay, 123, sorry, 111, 121, all these are about palindromes. Okay, so how to check whether it is a palindrome or not? In generalized method, if you need to perform checking of this palindrome methods, or if you need to check whether the strings are palindrome or not, we generally go for the selection statements. Okay, we generally go for selection statements like the if else statements, where we impose some sort of condition, and on the basis of the condition it enters the body or exits the body. But since we have not learned the selection statements, and we have also not learned statements like even else, so what we'll do is we will be simply using the operator, relational operator, to establish the relationship between the original string and the reverse string. Okay? So yes, let's take an input for the string. Let's say inp string str. Okay, this is the input string, and in order to take the input, we know that we generally use the input function. So what we'll do is here we'll write. Okay, I type the string to check palindrome. Yes, input string is there. Then this will be reverse string str. Reverse string will be input string within square brackets, start value to be kept as blank, stop value to be kept as blank, and the step value to be kept as -1. Okay. So here what we'll do is within double quotes we'll pass. And here we'll do okay. So if you execute the code, you see that here the program will expect some sort of input from the user. Okay. So yes, we need to enter the particular string, whether to check if we need to check whether it is a palindrome or not. Let's say we enter a string which is not a palindrome. Apple. Entered string is a palindrome. It is saying false. That means the entered string is not a palindrome. So what if we need to check a palindrome string? Let's say 1 to 1. It is a palindrome. You see over there. Okay. So let's check LOL, lol. So yes, it is also palindrome. Okay. I hope the concept of palindrome is clear. If the concept of palindrome is clear and if this program is clear, please type 1 in the chat box. In line number 1, what we have done is we have simply printed that we need to enter a string. And line number 2, we are basically fetching the input from the user. In line number 3, we are reversing the string using using the slicing mechanism of string operation. And in line number 4, we are generally using the print statement to print this particular statement, that is under double quotes. Since we are also performing some sort of operation, that is with the help of the relational operator, we are establishing the relationship. So what I've done is I've given a comma over here, since I'm dealing with variables which are not strings. So yes, after the comma, I'm basically using those variables and I'm comparing with the help of the relational operator. That is, I'm checking the equality of both the strings. Okay. So if it is clear, please type P in the chat box.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, because of that, because Python detects the data type on its own, we don't need to write different programs for numbers and alphabets, right?
Yes. We not to detect. We not to write the data type or initialize the data type. Got it. Okay. So this is all about palindrome, like how to use or how to check whether a particular string is palindrome or not. So yes, if this is a simple program that is without if-else statements. So gradually, when we will be learning about if-else statements, in that case, we'll be using or we will be showing the result with some sort of dynamic values. Yes. So let's move ahead with the next topic, that is list and tuples. So what exactly lists are and what exactly tuples are? Remember when we were discussing about the fundamental data types of Python, we have learned that there are few data types which are integrated in Python, and yes, and on the basis of the usability and on the basis of the storing of data in memory, they are being classified into multiple types. Okay. So these were the data types that we have discussed, right? Numbers, strings, lists, tuples, and dictionaries. As of now, we have already discussed about numbers, and also we have discussed about what exactly strings are. So what we'll do is now we'll move ahead with the next data type, that is list. Okay. So generally, whenever you go to the market or whenever your parents go to the market, they will definitely have a list of items that they need to buy. Am I right? Students,
Yes,
please
sir.
acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
exactly. Definitely, we'll be having a list. On the basis of the list, we'll be buying those items. Abruptly, there chances of the probability is very less that we'll be going to the market abruptly. And yes, we don't have any list, and we just go to the random shops and we start buying. Okay, although we do that, but the probability of doing that is very less, or the frequency is very less. Okay, but most of the times, or at times, what we do is we make a list and we go to the market, or we go to the vegetable, we go to the grocery shop, and we get our items from there. Okay, similarly, whenever we store data, there is a mechanism of storing data in list, that is, which is also known as the collection of items. Okay, which is also known as the collection of items or collection of elements. Okay, so list is a data type which basically stores list of values, and those values can be either of numeric type, it can also be a string type, or it can be of any data type that you want. That means the inner elements of the list can be of any type. So what exactly list looks like and how exactly list gets stored in the memory? Okay, let us try to figure it out. So I hope my screen is visible. This Excel sheet is visible to everyone. Please acknowledge if this Excel sheet is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. So see, we have some sort of values. Let's say list of fruits that I want to buy for yes, I want to buy for tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow I want to have fruits, and for tomorrow I need some sort of fruits. I need number of vegetables. Sorry, number of fruits that I want to have. Okay. So these are the lists that I'm going to make, and these are the fruits that I'm going to purchase from the market. Okay. So yes, it's apple, grapes, oranges. I hope you know the tomatoes are fruits. How many of you know that? Please raise your hands. And let me tell you, it is one of the most popular fruit globally. Okay, interesting fact. Yes, apple, oranges, grapes, and then guava. Let's say. Okay. Let's say okay. Let's make a list out of it. So whenever we generally make a list, so in memory, in Python's memory, we have the following thing that goes in the backend. So how many elements we have? We have total 4 elements. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So yes, please try to understand, but whatever we are doing. Okay. We'll be having this first over here, grapes over here, oranges over here. Above. यस, तो ये हमारा लिस्ट बन चुका है, यानी कि फॉर एवरी आइटम्स, ओके, फॉर एवरी कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग आइटम देयर विल बी कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग इंडेक्स नंबर एसोसिएटेड विद इट. Okay, there will be corresponding index number that will be associated with. For example, apple will be stored at index 0, grapes at 1, oranges at 2, and guava at 3. Okay, so in list, what we have number, we do serialization of items. Okay, where we store the items, or where we put the items serially, like these are the list of let's say from 1 to 10 we have vegetables, from 10 to 20 let's say we have grocery items, from yes then 30 to 40 let's say we have essential items. Okay, some sort of thing like that. Okay, so similarly, whenever we are forming a list for items that we store in the list, we store them sequentially. That means there will be a corresponding index for that particular item. इसका मतलब कुछ इस प्रकार से समझे, list can also be called as sequential data type. List can also be called as sequential data because it stores the item sequential. It means for every corresponding index or for every corresponding item there will be corresponding index value associated with it. Okay, and it goes on serial. It can't have, we cannot have the index numbers abruptly. Let's say for this we have 0, and let's say you suddenly want to have 10 for this. That is not possible. Okay, so for every item there will be corresponding index value or index number, okay, associated with it. Okay, so how exactly the values get stored in the list? Let us try to understand. Okay, isn't this an array? Okay, no, there is a difference between array and list in Python. Okay, for array there is a separate module called NumPy. Okay, that is numerical Python. We'll be learning about that very soon. Okay, so how to exactly store this item in Python? Okay, let's say अब ये से सारे items जो है ना मैं Python में store करना चाहता हूँ, किस प्रकार से store करूँ? Okay, let us try to understand that. For example, I have the list of fruits. This is the list of fruits. This is a variable which will be storing the list. In order to create a list, we'll be using the square brackets. Let's try to understand that. Okay, हम generally square brackets का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Whenever we have the square brackets without anything, we mean that the list is empty. Please note it. Okay, so whenever we don't have anything in this inside this square bracket, we generally mean that the list is empty. So how can we understand that the list is empty? Just use print, use the len function, and inside the len function, just pass the variable which is storing the list. And the moment we execute the code, you see that the length is stored to be as 0. It means that we don't have any sort of elements. But what if we put this fruits over there? Okay. Also missing out with something, that is the, since these are string values, we have to give quotes. Okay, so yes, now we execute the code. You see the length is shown to be as 4 because we have 4 elements over here. So what if we need to pass? So what if we need to yes, if we need to access a particular element from this list? Okay. So how to access that element? Remember in string how we used to get those values using the index numbers. Similarly, for this also we'll be using the index. Okay, list of fruits within square brackets. Just pass the index number to get that particular value. So if we pass 0 over here, the moment we execute the code, you see that we are getting apple. So the reason why we are getting apple is because apple is stored at index position 0. And if we pass 1 over here, you see that we are getting the value grapes. So why we are getting grapes? Because grapes is stored at index position 1. Okay, so this was all about the index position and the corresponding elements. So is there any possibility to store that element in negative indexes, which we have already learned in strings? ठीक है, strings जिस प्रकार से values को store करता है negative indexes में, is there chances that list also stores those element in the negative indexes? Let us try to find it out. Okay, so if we pass -1 over here and execute the code, what we get? We get grapes. It means what? It means that list also stores the value with the negative indexes. With the negative indexes, it means if we have -1 over here, and for these values, we'll be definitely having -2, -3, -4. Okay. In short, in a nutshell, let me tell you, list is a sequential data type of Python. List is a sequential data type of Python. Okay, it stores the element in sequences. Okay, for every element we have two indexes, the positive index number and the negative index number. And if you talk about the positive index number starts from 0 to n-1, like this. Okay, the positive index starts from 0 to n-1. Why I'm telling n-1? Because if we have 4 number of elements in the list, you can see the count is written over here 4. Okay, so if you have 4 elements in the list, then definitely if you are using positive indexes, the index will start from 0 to 4-1, that is 3. And if you talk about negative indexes, okay, the negative index will start from -1 to -n. That means if we have 4 elements, then it will go up to -4. Okay, similar to whatever we have learned in string. Okay, that's why we classify strings and lists under the category of sequential data type. Okay, please try to understand. Under the category of sequential data type, we have strings and we have list. Okay, we have strings and we have list. Okay, so the question is, if we are also able to store string values in sequences, okay, so why do we have a separate data type called list? So why do we have a separate data type called list? Okay, because once again strings are able to store the elements sequentially. We have sequences, we have some sort of indexes. So if there are some sort of indexes, and for every corresponding index there are some sort of values, then why do we have a separate data type called list? Let us try to figure it out. Okay, so if we are storing the value in list, it gets stored like this, right? But if we consider this for the case of string, then storing the elements, okay, storing multiple string values is not possible in string. Okay, so what if I want to store this particular list in a particular string variable, let's say str list of fruits. Okay, let's name it as str of list of fruits, and inside this I want to have this. Okay, so let's put it over here, because we know that if you need to store values in string, we need to have double quotes. Okay, so you see over here that we have this value. Okay, so what if I pass, let's say str list of fruits, and within square brackets I pass, let's say 2. Okay, so what we get, we should be able to get grapes because the second element is grapes, but we're not getting that, right? Because for every individual character the values are being stored as the corresponding index numbers. That means for every corresponding index number we have a corresponding character that is assigned to it. Okay, so that's why we are not able to use string in order to get a particular element out of it. Okay, so that's why we use list, where in case of list we'll be able to fetch the individual elements. That means element wise, okay, in a particular index we can store more than one character, but in case of string you can only store a single character in a particular index number. Okay, but in case of list we can have a solid element, we can have n number of characters for that particular index, for the corresponding index. Not only that, there is also one more difference that makes list and strings apart. Okay, so that major difference is that lists are mutable, strings are not mutable, that is strings are immutable. That means if you want to manipulate the values of list, that is possible in case of list. But if you are trying to manipulate the values of string, in that case we will be getting an error. Okay, let us try to figure it out. Let's say I want to change the the fruit from apple. Okay, from apple to, let's say okay, let's say apple to some other fruit. Okay, how it has to be done? Okay, banana. Okay, is it done? ठीक है, अब जैसे हम यहाँ पर लिस्ट ऑफ फ्रूट्स को प्रिंट करेंगे, so you can see over here that we get banana, grapes, oranges, and guava. So why we are getting that? Because the value initially we had apple in the index position 0, but I have updated it to banana, so that's why we are getting banana. Okay, but what if I need to do the same thing for string? Okay, we know that string stores each and every character in the corresponding indexes. Let's say apple. Okay, now I want to change this a to m. Let's say map mpple. Okay, or let's say kpple. I want to make it to kpple. Okay, so how to do that? Okay, so let's see whether it is possible or not. Let's execute and let's print it. Yes, you see that string object does not support item assignment. It means what? We're assigning a new value to this apple, so that's why it is showing error. But in case of list, it is accepting it. We're not getting any error in case of list. Okay, so yes, from this we can conclude that lists are mutable whereas strings are immutable. Lists are mutable whereas strings are immutable. So if we want to manipulate strings, that is not possible. Okay, but if you want to manipulate list elements, in that case it is possible. What about the memory address of the individual elements and the memory address of the entire list? Are they same? Let us try to figure it out. Okay, marks of 0, marks of 1, marks of 2. Okay, and finally what we'll do is marks id of, let's say, marks. Okay, let us try to execute the code. The moment we execute the code, you see that for every element we have a separate index, and for the final list we have a separate index. It means what? It means that every element is stored in a separate index position, a separate memory address, and what we are doing is we are combining all the elements and we are storing it in once again in a separate memory location. ठीक है, यानी कि इंडिविजुअल एलिमेंट्स एक अपने अपने मेमोरी एड्रेस में स्टोर हो रहे हैं, और जब एक लिस्ट बन जाता है, लिस्ट बनने के बाद एंटायर लिस्ट को भी अलग से हम लोग स्टोर कर रहे हैं. Are you getting the point? Okay, so this is whatever we have learned. This is similar to whatever we have learned for strings. Okay.